Hello, this is Claire OT and I'm broadcasting from COT 2012, and I'm very excited to say that I'm sitting next to none other than Jennifer Creek, who's probably the most eminent mental health OT that there is. And Jennifer has been a massive influence on me, and I'm sure every one of you out there that's a mental health OT. And for all of you that have used mental health OT services, Jennifer is basically the reason why people are working the way that they are. So really, really great to meet you, Jennifer, and wonderful to be sitting with you. And I just mentioned to you how much of an impact that you had on a student that I was talking to earlier, who's just given a presentation and you were in the audience. What do you think about the student OTs at the moment? Because they're impressing me.
Oh, that was the best session I've been to in this conference. 5 student papers, and every single one of them was beautifully presented. Very, very high quality presentation. But of course, more exciting was the content. That they were passionately enthusiastic, but they were also deeply thoughtful. Their practice is inspiring, and I just think that if our students are reaching this standard, the profession is in safe hands. One of the practitioners in the audience said at the end, I feel I can retire now. I can leave it to these people, and that's exactly how I feel. Yes, yeah. It was wonderful. And I did comment at the end that what particularly struck me was how open and flexible the students were, because we do see some practitioners who've become quite rigid in their thinking and perhaps make assumptions or take for granted that there's a particular way of working. And I didn't see that at all in the students. They were totally open to what was there and willing to change their responses appropriately. And I think that characterises the best occupational therapy.
They are a really reflective bunch, and it really comes over because they engage with some of our online stuff.
Yes.
We do a Tuesday night tweet chat from 8 till 9 PM, and lots of OT students and new practitioners in role emerging jobs actually join in with that and seek a bit of peer supervision. And several of the students that you actually saw presenting, Clarissa and Gillian, are part of our O-Talk and OpChat group, and so they have actually been hosting some of these chats,
right?
Which is fantastic. But they are an incredibly reflective bunch.
Yes, and confident, appropriately confident. They're not arrogant. They don't think they know everything. That's just lovely, and yet they're confident. They're confident enough to be willing to learn and to admit when they don't understand, and that is just wonderful.
It's really great to see, isn't it?
It is.
So I've been trying to take a few tips from them actually, and I've been asking them, do you think you might submit a paper about what you presented about at conference? Because it's almost like this is a snapshot, a moment in time where people are presenting the work that they're doing. But my worry is that sometimes we're not putting that snapshot in a family album for OT, and that's what I'd like to see happen. And I'm going to take a bit of my own medicine, and I'm going to go home and try and write up my presentation. And so I wondered if you had a few words of encouragement for people, because you've presented and written papers.
Yes. I think these days it's quite hard to get published in professional journals unless you've written a research paper. I find that these days I can't publish theoretical papers unless I say that they're opinion pieces, which they're not. They're scholarly papers. But I think that publishing online is the future. It's the way to go. Because so many people now will access the electronic media, often in preference to print journals. It's so accessible. Yes, I would really encourage anybody who's given a paper that's been well received to take that further. Publish it in some form. Yeah,
so perhaps if you didn't have the confidence to submit it for academic peer review, you could still write a blog post about it, And,
That's right.
and can I just say that we would be happy to host any of your blog posts on the OTalk OCChat blog if you are perhaps reluctant to start a blog of your own. But you know, I'm sure that we could arrange to have the AOT look at doing a series of publications on their blog too, because Andrew's a great supporter of all of us OTs in social media. But we'd have to get through the council as well. We'd have to get them to approve it. So I think it would be great as well. I mean, I posted some little videos of the fellowships that were awarded yesterday, and I would certainly like to see that we were doing more to face out from our profession and actually show what we're doing. So perhaps that's something we need to look at for next year. How can we embed some of this into the actual structure of the conference?
Yes. I do think that one of the problems with occupational therapy has been that we're so inward looking. And when you read occupational therapy papers and theories, if you look at the reference list, you find that it's mostly occupational therapy references, as though we exist in some kind of bubble. We're not part of the wider system, both the scholarly academic system and the wider health and social system. And I would like to see far more non-occupational therapists at the OT conference, both as speakers and as delegates. One of the most interesting people I've spoken to outside paper sessions was a social worker. And she manages occupational therapists, and she decided to come to the OT conference, and that was wonderful. I'd like to see more of that. We should have something to say to non-occupational therapists.
And I think that Phil Hanlon, the public health doctor, was incredibly warmly received by everyone, because he's such a fantastic speaker, and what he said was so relevant to everyone in our profession. You know, and that's why we actually, with our chats, we alternate. One week we talk about occupational therapy, and the next week we talk about occupational science, and we try and actually draw more people into those discussions. And hopefully, you know, as we do have more and more resources that are published in open access journals or in blogs and places that people can access that knowledge and understanding, even if they don't have the essential Athens username, you know, we can actually advertise what we're doing and actually show what a great profession we are.
I also think that we should be speaking more at other people's conferences. I know Irene Patterson, who's been very prominent at this conference because she is the historian of occupational therapy in Scotland, if not in the UK. When she started doing the history of occupational therapy, she didn't present it at occupational therapy conferences. She presented it at history conferences. And why aren't we presenting what we do at other conferences? Health promotion conferences, neurology conferences, public health, yes.
Absolutely, it's a really, really pertinent question, isn't it? You know, if we are, you know, at risk of ending up like I talked yesterday about the experience of our American colleagues and how, because of a failure to respond to a situation that was to do with their payment, they ended up decimated in mental health from a large proportion to less than 5% of practicing OTs in America. And you know, part of that is if we choose to keep ourselves in a silo or in a ghetto of OT. You know, we need to look forward and look beyond it. So
I think that's one of the reasons why it's so exciting to see the students looking so broadly and getting excited about the potential of occupational therapy outside health and social services.
Yeah, absolutely.
While some occupational therapists have what in China they call the iron rice bowl. They sit in their perhaps uncomfortable jobs, but with the expectation of a good pension at the end of it. It's lovely to see the students bypassing that idea and going for where they can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Jennifer. It's a real personal pleasure to meet you and get the chance to talk to you. And I know I speak for people that are viewing this video, which will be archived online, who will be fascinated to hear from the horse's mouth some more about how you feel about the profession now. So thank you very much for speaking with us today. So this is Claire OT signing off. Bye.